Good morning, and welcome to another rambunctious version of Diatribes from the voice of doom. Now here's your rambling and ramshackle host, voice of doom. Good morning. I thought I'd get up bright and early before noon and do a quick diatribe. Got a busy day today, in which I'll get nothing done. But on the microcosm side, Benjamin, private specialist, first class, will be home in less than 24 hours and visit us for a while, so that should be fun. Other than that, things are more or less the same. I've cut back my hours at work because of Social Security. I can't make that much money, so I'll be working 4 days. Pretty interesting stuff there. But I'll have more time to do more diatribes and get more done, of which I will probably get nothing done. But let's move on to the macrocosm. Now, as everyone can see, the tide is turning on Petri Dish and his ilk, the D's. Finally. And as far as it goes, it can go as far as it wants to go. You can uncover a little bit of crime and malfeasance and brush the rest under the rug, or you can keep digging and digging until you realize that the entire system sucks. Everything, all of them. So the coppers can investigate as much as they want until they reach the point where they become part of the problem too, or they become implicated. So we'll see how that goes, but I don't think we have enough time left to worry about any investigations or impeachments, because there certainly will be a conflagration within the next few weeks. Now, while we're busy worrying about the no-account son and his gun charges, which is the least they could do, China, I guess, is getting ready to attack Taiwan. So we don't have to worry too much about that. That's out of sight, out of mind, as I've said. But it's still interesting that the leaders of the rest of the world are probably wondering why we're doing what we're doing. It's almost like doing a magic trick for somebody who's not paying attention. I used to do that all the time. I'd practice my tricks so that nobody knew the sleight of hand, and then when you show the trick, they're kind of looking the other way, and it's like, well, unless you pay attention, then the whole thing is, But that's what the world is like now. The leaders are saying we can get away with anything we want to. We could do absolutely anything we want. And can't help but thinking what the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is thinking when Petri Dish has to go hat in hand for him to lower the price of oil, which is not what they are prone to do, when we have tons and tons of oil supplies under the ground of what used to be the United States. And we don't want to go after those supplies, and we'd rather pay more money from other countries who are not quite as efficient and as clean as we are at extricating resources. So that's perplexing. I think you know what I'm alluding to, the curtailment of fossil fuels by Petri Dish, which he's been very clear that he wants to do. And then when the gas prices go up, then they yell at him, because that's one thing that people don't like. But we can slowly be the frog in the water when the heat being turned up. 450 isn't that bad. It was higher last year. So we get used to that, and then we'll get used to 550 and then 650. But like I say, there's no time for that. It's coming soon. They have to scorch the earth very soon in order to take our minds off all the badness that is befalling them. Notice some other things happening with the D's starting to get some backlash, and their backs should be lashed very severely. But they've been wandering around for the last 6 years, all high and mighty, thinking they're above everything, and they make ridiculous accusations, and they're hypocrites to the max. And they have the mainstream media in their back pocket, touting their remove, or at least not questioning them. I'm talking about skin bag. I'm talking about idiot Jamie, whatever the hell his name is. I'm talking about, that lizard, and I'm talking about AOC. They're getting to the point where they won't be able to show their face anymore. There was some footage today. Like I said, they can have the media in their back pocket. They can have the justice system and the apparati and the apparatchiks on their side. But they're losing the common clay. And the common clay can sometimes have no decorum. They aren't going to be polite about it. They're not going to be like the press talking about ice cream or talking about how you liked your movie, Petri dish. They come right out and start screaming bloody murder when things start going bad. Now things are going bad because the boroughs of NYC are being infested with migrants who have nowhere to go. And all the resources of what used to be the government are going to be plowed into getting these people settled into what used to be the United States, and never mind the people that already live here. Never mind giving the common clay like me maybe $1,000 extra a month, which will totally wipe out this country with inflation, but give people like us $1,000 a month extra to pay the bills that only get us back to square one, really, since we're paying $800 more per month for our expenses than we were last year. But you see the point. I mean, the common clay could use the money, and yet they're going to plow all their resources into migrants, and people are coming from every country in the world, and their kids are going right into the schools, and that will create what they want, the schools being absolutely ineffectual. Because you can teach CRT and you can teach gender theory with sign language or just graphic novels. You don't have to actually speak English to understand all that. So they will get their point across, and we will be replaced as a population, and by we I mean born U.S. citizens, what used to be U.S. citizens, will be cast aside by hook or crook. And the best way to cast us all aside is to remove us. And we're going to be removed, so everybody better get used to that fact. But it was fun to see the common clay shout down AOC and Skinbag at their little conference about how all these migrants are going to be taken care of, and people are just not even going to put up with it anymore. And finally, in conclusion, I will say Kyochi Miyogo is a very strict principle. You want to fuse your subjective wisdom with objective reality. Objective reality is the immutable truth. And subjective wisdom is spinning, and subjective wisdom is we say what we want to say, and you can't say differently because that will be disinformation. And it's a big mess, but the objective reality is the price of gas. The objective reality is seeing thousands of people on the streets of the city that you live in, where you can't even walk around without being harassed or without walking over detritus and feces or what have you. And it's like, I don't want to live here anymore. That's subjective reality. When you see what's happening with your own eyes, it doesn't matter how much you spin it, how much the politicos and the D's and the demons um, try to fool us. When you see reality, you see reality. And everyone is seeing reality, and the D's can squirm around all they want. And eventually they'll either have a nervous breakdown or they will find a way to remove themselves because they can't keep on defending what's going on. Petrie is crumbling. Everyone knows that his performance is going from bad to worse. I told you this would happen 2 years ago. I was more than clear in August of 21 that it'll only get worse with Petri dish. And nobody heeded my words, and now you see what we have. So I wanted to touch on a few bases on that front. I know I had a lot more to say. What else did I see? It's just fun to see when reality starts to hit everyone, what happens. The common clay turning on the D's who thought they had everything in the bag because they could manipulate everything. There's also this issue of Karine and the rest of the gang urging the mainstream media to jump on the bandwagon to investigate the Goppers, since this impeachment inquiry has gotten going in earnest. And I predict that the inquiry will take probably about 45 years to complete. And by the time all of us have shuffled off this mortal coil, they will have their conclusions all ready to go. The grandchildren of the people doing it now. So, we all know that's kind of a joke, but keep the fire at his feet until his souls burn and move up from there. So I'll leave it there. I didn't say a whole hell of a lot, just a few random thoughts because I like the way things are going. It's very entertaining to watch when the subjective wisdom starts meeting up with objective reality, because you can tell people all kinds of things about how great things are, but what they see with their own eyes you can't deny. So that's the great thing about the universe, is reality will show its ugly face. So enjoy, and thanks. I hope this was kind of good. Have a good day. Bye.